It doesn't really matter, actually.
Really?
You can have the headphones or you don't need them.
I did not think about this with my head wrap. Oh, okay. Oh, hello. I hear you.
Yeah, you like.
I hear you. Okay, wait.
You don't
do
need
I need
them.
to
I mean, it's kind of fun to have
them on?
your voice in, but it's just you're just
not
hearing
necessary.
yourself talk.
Yeah,
that's really all
I
it is.
might just put them down.
No worries.
For this.
You don't. There's no need to have them.
Okay.
Well, hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for jumping on.
Welcome to my home.
You've got an awesome home.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, first of all, it's good to see you.
Yeah, I know. It's been when's the last time I saw you?
I saw you at Nathan's birthday.
Nathan's birthday was that? Was
it was the
jazz night? We went to the jazz night.
Oh,
was that
I saw you
after
at the jazz
or
night
before? I can't remember now.
That was after Nathan's birthday.
Yeah, that was the last time.
That was really cool.
That was fun.
That was well, Nathan's birthday was exciting because that was my first, like, what you could say was my first Hollywood party.
Really?
Well, yeah, I've never been to I mean, we're out. Marlon Brando's Star was right out front, and we're in a club.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. I had no clue that's where his Star is.
Yeah, Marlon.
I've just gotten used to living here, so I like very rarely look down.
Where are you
when I'm
from?
Walking.
Where were you living before LA?
Before LA, I mean, I've been here 20 plus years, so like this is home. But before LA, I was in Florida. I was at school, basically. I mean, I had
in Orlando, right?
I was in Orlando. I grew up. Okay, so I'll just give you my whole life story.
Yeah.
I was born in the Virgin Islands in St. Croix.
Uh-huh.
I moved to Orlando around like 7 or 8, and I was there for elementary through high school. And went to a performing arts high school, and then left and went to Florida State. So I went to Florida State and was there for 4 years. And then after that, I toured for a couple years with some musicals, and then came out here, sort of by accident. Because, of course, like I went to school for musical theater, assuming I'd be in New York, doing Broadway, doing all that stuff. And I happened into moving out here sort of by accident.
Right.
And now I've been here since 2006. Yeah. Not here, not at this house.
Right.
We just moved into this house 3 years ago.
Yeah. We all went to Full Sail University.
My dad used to teach at Full Sail.
Really?
Yeah.
What did he teach?
What do you call it? Just video, I guess. Like it wasn't like videography, basically, like, this was like back in the 90s. So things were like a little different back then. But yeah, just like the full, like videography is as far as I know, that's what he taught.
Right.
I don't know what that encompasses.
I wouldn't even know. If you said the class, we'd go, we probably took that. It
was a long time ago.
Yeah. Orlando's awesome.
So wait, you were there for?
There for
4 years?
2 years. It's an accelerated program.
Oh, I see.
So we do 22 months?
20
months.
Is that how you guys all know each other?
That's how we all know each other.
Oh, that's
how we all know each other.
cool.
Yeah. And we're all we all have made movies together, and we grew up
cool.
from college. But
yeah,
Orlando was really good. I saw you had the what was it? It was the Orlando magazine, or what was that thing a couple months ago?
I did. Yeah, I did. Orlando Magazine just asked if they could do an article on me, and so, God, thank you for saying that, because I meant to post about that, and then life got away from me, and I forgot.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah. No, I saw that, and then I saw a little blurb, and it said FSU. And I went, oh man, well we're right down the road. We would party with the UFC kids.
Yeah.
UCF, UFC.
Yeah.
It's impossible. You can never. Yeah. So you had it. You grew up in Orlando, and then you went out to New York. Or no, you had.
So I went to Florida State for musical theater. It's so weird though, because I don't sing that much anymore.
Yeah.
People know me as actress who used to dance, because I danced for Michael Jackson and all of that. So people know that side, but very few people have heard me sing, and it's been so long, honestly. But that's what I wanted to do. I actually went to Florida State as a Bachelor of Music for musical theater. So like singing was my main thing.
Yes.
And then I went on tour for 2 years with Fame and then Smokey Joe's Cafe. And I happened to get an agent out here. Basically, a woman, her mother and my mother were friends back in Orlando, but we never really knew each other. But she was an assistant working for my now agent at UTA. My agent wanted to move and start her own agency, now Global Artist Agency. And she wanted her to come with her. And she said, well, I'll come with you, but I want to become an agent. She said, okay, sure. And so then she had to find clients. So she called her mom basically and was like, remember that one girl who was like always doing the musical theater stuff back in high school? And she got a hold of me, and that's sort of how she became my agent. And I was on the last leg of our tour. We were in Reno, which is an interesting city. And
biggest, smallest city.
Yes,
is
exactly.
That what they say?
Yeah. And she was like, why don't you come out here and you can just sort of like stay on my couch. I think we had gone on tour, while on tour, we came to LA. That's the only other time I had been to LA. And so I had no idea what I was doing. And so she was like, you can stay with me. Like, and we're similar in age. She's just a couple years older than me. We didn't know each other well, but I had been auditioning. I had been putting myself on tape. This is back before you really put yourself on tape all that much, but I couldn't be there because I was on tour. And so, she was like, so I did know her enough, but like we'd never really met. But she was like, just come out here and audition for a couple things. And the very first thing I auditioned for was One Tree Hill, a recurring role on One Tree Hill. And I ended up booking it.
Damn.
Which was crazy.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty quick.
It was very fast. But what was interesting about that one was, this never happens. They auditioned during the summer, but they weren't shooting until like the fall. Like there was a long time in between. And so she was like, okay, well, you are booked on that. Why don't you, I had flown back to Reno, and she was like, why don't you come out again? And again, you can just like stay with me on my couch. And I auditioned for CSI New York, and then Half and Half. These were like some of the first three things I auditioned for. And these were the guest stars on the other one.
Yep. And
I booked all of them. So I was like, oh my God, like this is clearly very easy.
What was the timeline of all those?
Probably. So the first,
like within a couple of years of each other?
No.
They were.
No, the first audition was, like I said, maybe sometime in the summer, I feel like. And then I had to be probably about a month later, because I didn't go back for long. I actually ended up telling, because we were done with our tour basically, and our last stop was in Reno. I had basically told the folks on tour that I had booked this, and they were like, we understand, like you have to go do that. So I was only there for maybe like a month more. Yeah. Maybe even less than that. Then I went out and I auditioned, and that happened very fast. That happened. I auditioned, I booked it. This is CSI New York. I shot it. I came back because they were both at CBS Radford. I auditioned. I'm so sorry. Oh, this is a good story. I just forgot about this.
No, tell me.
So this is actually what happened. The first day I was on set, I was in the makeup chair, and this woman that was doing my makeup was like, you should just go walk around today. You should just walk around the studio and like get to see the studio and all of that. And so I was like, okay. And like they didn't need me for a while. So I was like, all right, I guess I could. But then they actually needed me they had to shoot photos of me for something else that they were using the photos for. Right. So we go to do that. And this other man walks by us while we're doing that, and he kind of stops and he turns and he looks at me and he was like, what are you doing? What is this? What's going on here?
Oh, jeez.
And I was like,
my
we're
God.
shooting for this and that. And he was like, oh, well, I'm a casting director. And he was like, and he introduced himself. The funny thing about this is that I had been talking to my best friend on the phone for like an hour or so before that. And she had told me, she was like, she wasn't here. She was in Atlanta. She was like, I have a meeting with a casting director in LA, phone meeting, something over the phone. That's coming up in like an hour or so. So anyways, so this happens. I'm taking these photos. He says this to me. He's like, okay, well, I got to go leave. I have a phone call that I have to take. Then I can't remember exactly how it happened. I think Deetra, my best friend, called me. God, I can't remember. It was so long ago. I can't remember how it happened. Long story short, that was the meeting
that he had to go to.
He had to go to was the meeting that she had just told me that she had to go to.
Right.
While we were on the phone, and then he just happens to meet me in the middle of all of that.
Yeah.
Then I auditioned for his show, which was half and half at the time, and booked that. So I was there at CBS that week for CSI New York, and came back the next week to shoot half and half.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you're just
that was
ripping
it.
them out.
I was in it was a weird time where like a bunch of weird coincidences like that were sort of happening.
Yeah.
Which I took as like these like green flags, like you're on the right track. This is where you're supposed to be. I know you thought you were going to be in New York, but like you're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And so so that was before I actually like had moved into a spot here in LA. When I finally...
You don't even have a place, but you're on TV. You're on set at CBS.
Right. When I finally like bought or got a place and had my first apartment out here in LA, I didn't work for like a year.
Yeah.
It's that weird thing that LA does where it feels like it's like, come to LA.
Yes.
It's so easy. It brings you, it lures you in. And as soon as you get here, it's like, okay, off to the next.
Yeah. When I first got here, I crashed out on their couch.
Yeah.
There was I somewhat similar. I came in and booked the play, and then about 2 months later booked The Rookie. But
you booked the play in New York, or you booked
in Los Angeles?
You booked it out here.
It was an LA play. It was supposed to run for 30 days. But it exploded because it was political and everybody was all riled up.
I didn't get to see that. I really wanted to see it.
The rights are out now, so it'll be somewhere in the country. But yeah, I had this thought. LA tests you.
Yeah.
Like you come out and it's all glorious and it's exciting.
Yeah.
The spirit of Los Angeles, like the city of angels.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason, there's an energy here. There's a reason why things happen. And if you can tap into that and you allow it to take you, then you go. But then that does happen where like I lost, like my car broke down and all these shitty things started happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had a year. You had a year of not working. How many things did you do and then you hit a lull?
I think it was those three. And then I think maybe that during that year I worked, like I think maybe I did Bones at that time. It wasn't a lot though.
Yeah.
And so that's when I realized that two things happened. One, I needed a steady job because I needed to pay my rent. So I did the thing that every actor does and tried to become a waitress, which I'm not good at.
Yeah, me neither.
Have you done it?
I got fired from, I was a busboy.
Yeah.
And I got fired from being a busboy.
It's not easy.
No.
Okay, I'll tell you another funny story. I had heard people at restaurants really like people who are actors to be their waitresses and waiters because they feel like they are personable people, they're likable people, and so I had no waiting experience, and I was like, well, I hear that they like actors, so I went into this was in like Pasadena, and it was like a really nice kind of restaurant, and I went in, and they were like, okay, do you have your resume? And I was like, well, I have my headshot and resume. I did this.
Yeah.
And I gave it to them, and when I tell you, like, the look on their faces, they literally were like, is this a joke? Are you serious?
Yeah.
And I felt myself go, oh, this was a bad idea.
Because
so clearly
like,
I did
the
not.
plays you'd done and like, you're like, I just did these TV shows. And
exactly. I really work. I'm a good worker. I tried to do that whole thing.
Yeah.
No. So clearly I did not get that job. I ended up working and it actually ended up being a lot of fun. I worked at Backstage, which was do you know Backstage? I saw a head shake over here.
What's Backstage?
It's like a karaoke bar. It's down by Sony. It's like down in Culver City, but that was the thing. I lived up here. And so that drive was kind of...
That's where I live.
Oh, you live in Culver City?
I live right by the Sony studios.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then, is it still there?
Yeah. Oh, Backstage. I don't know. Is it still there?
I think so.
Yeah.
It was like the #1 karaoke bar for a while.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun there. But my first day working there, so what I realized, okay, I clearly can't do this again. I have a friend who has worked at, she worked in New York. She was a waitress. She's hosted places. She knew a bunch of places. And so she was like, listen, make some stuff up. And I was like, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. She was like, just make it up. She was like, if they ask for references, give them my number. I have them call me, da-da-da-da. So I was like, okay. If any of my friends know that, like, I'm a horrible liar. I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I'll figure it out. So yeah, I interviewed. They were very nice, and I got that job. And I remember the first day being scared out of my mind, not knowing what I was doing. I was serving drinks to a table, and this woman goes, "Is this my drink?" I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "This is my drink." I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "This is a rum and Coke. It's clearly clear." No, clearly not a rum and Coke at all. Just clear. And I was like, oh no, that's clearly definitely not a rum and Coke. Sorry. So yeah, so I was not very good at waiting tables. So I then at that time realized, like, what am I doing? Why am I not still doing my creative side, which was dancing? And so I happened to get a dance agent, block agency, and I started auditioning for whatever and whenever I could. And I think the first thing I got was Umbrella. I think that was one of the first things I got, which was, Rihanna's Umbrella. Which was
the music video, or
yeah,
was that
music video?
Okay,
It was a music video. Yeah.
oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it was.
I've seen
you've
that
probably
music
seen
video.
it. Yeah.
That was in middle school.
Yeah.
My
Oh God.
God.
Oh, God. Okay.
I remember that.
Just aged me.
No, I'm sorry. That's when Melissa won Americans Got Idol. Or I mean, Canada's Idol. I was 2 years old.
That's right, because you're Canadian.
No, I'm not Canadian.
No, wait,
I'm Coloradan.
Coloradan.
It starts with the C.
There we go.
Coloradian. Coloradians. No, it's Coloradian.
Coloradian.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So you say? I would always say Coloradan.
I'm a Coloradan. Dude, I'm going to get ripped up by my own people. I'm going to be like, you don't even know?
You're from Colorado and you don't even know.
It's Coloradan. It's got to be Coloradan. I'm pretty sure. But anyways.
That's right. I knew that. I did know that.
Yeah.
But how did you see the Canadian Idol?
I never saw it. I just, through research and like knowing the year, I think it was 2005 that she won. And that I was 3 years old. Yeah, 3.
Oh my God. So crazy.
anyways, sorry, not to. It's not really a time. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, so you umbrella.
Yes. So I did that, and then I would just do, random jobs here and there to sort of like get me by. And like you said, it was during that time that there was just, and I don't know if it's just like something that sort of happens when you're in your 20s, like the cars you buy aren't exactly as reliable. And like, yeah, cars were always breaking down.
There's just stuff.
There's
it just
tons
happens
of
in
stuff
your 20s.
yes. And you're just like, well, I just got to get through it. And you're right. It does feel like a test. And if you pass,
Yeah.
you can get rewarded.
It is a test.
You are tested.
Yeah.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, then I just kind of kept working my way, and then I ended up here on The Rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I've just watched This Is It.
Yeah.
What year? Where was for people listening? That's Michael Jackson's final concert tour. Yeah.
It was a final tour turned into a documentary.
Yes.
That was in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I moved out 2006. There was a writer's strike in 2007, 8-ish, and so that's part of why things got a little hard.
Yeah.
And then 2009, I booked This Is It, and I would say almost after that, there was like the trajectory kind of
picked up,
kept going.
So it took
up,
about 3 years. Or it was, you moved here in 2006 and then 2009.
Yeah.
And then it went from there.
I think so. Yeah. Because after that, it was 2010 that I booked my first series regular role.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess in between there, there was guest stars and recurrings here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so for me as a dancer, I kind of where do I go from here? Because it's like Michael Jackson. He's kind of like the pinnacle of a dance career. And so I was like, maybe I stop the dance and really retire from dance. I'm done. And really focus on, acting.
Yeah.
Sort of the main reason I came out here.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did. And yeah, the first show I was on was Undercovers as a series regular, which was J.J. Abrams. It was right after Lost had happened. So it was one of those, that I thought like, oh my God, like I love J.J. Abrams. I love this show. This show is going to go, obviously. Yeah. It's J.J., like, and it did go for a season, but that was it.
Yeah.
And, we all know how that can happen. And so I had sort of been like, that was for a long time, like I would book a series regular, but then it would only go a season. And so this is the first show that I've been on where it's gone multiple seasons.
The Rookie?
The Rookie is, yeah. Yeah, as a series regular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. That's, I went through a couple of your clips of, I think I've actually seen it before even knowing who you were. The Key and Peele,
I knew that
Michelle
was
Obama.
I always wonder which one it is. Oh, the Michelle.
It's the Michelle. And then there was the other one. You did 3 of them, right?
I did 3. Yes, 3.
My buddies and I would, it's just so funny. They have their translators come in. It's Brock and Michelle. Yeah. And Brock's like trying to seduce Michelle after a long day, and Michelle is there, but they're so funny because they're politicians. They're doing their like, well, and they call in their translators. Yeah. So, oh my God.
That was that. Every time they've called me, it's been, I think, except for maybe the first time, but every time after that, it's been like pretty much like the night before.
Yeah.
And so I had like
What?
a night to try and get Michelle Obama down. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. So I'm just going to do like my version of Michelle and hopefully it comes across. And I tried, and then I'm looking at other people like Maya Rudolph's impressions. And I was just trying to figure out like, how do I just capture her essence?
Yeah.
Hopefully I did that. I tried my best. But that was so much fun to do. And it's so hard not to laugh with these people because they're so funny and they're going off script all the time. And it's hilarious. Same thing happened with the French. I think maybe something had happened with one of the actresses or something. And so they called me and they were like, so you have to speak French. And I was like, I don't speak French.
It was the night before?
It was the night before.
God damn.
I have a friend who's French Canadian. So I called her and we start to go over it. And she was like, wait a second. This is weird. I was like, what do you mean? She was like, it's like there's some French in here and then there's some that's not. And so then I think maybe I asked my agent or whatever and they were like, oh yeah, they just made it up.
Oh.
So it's partially French, partially not. Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
That's I don't know. It's between that one and the Obama one.
What is the French one? Explain that to
The
me.
French one is basically, so Jordan and I go on this date. And I think it's like our first date or whatever. And he's basically like, order whatever you want. Like, I got this. I know this menu. I'm good at this. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my gosh. I'm really not great at this. Da da da. And then she rolls off all this French stuff as she's looking through the menu. And Keegan comes in and he's hilarious and does something different every time. And I'm trying not to laugh behind my menu.
It's so funny.
Yeah. And so they're having a back and forth sort of in French and he's sweating over here because he has no idea what either of them are saying.
Right.
And then my character basically is like, oh, I don't know. I'm not good at this. What do you think? And he's like, sorry, bye, and pieces out.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're funny and they're very like fun guys, very nice, very fun to be around. I was very happy that they used me multiple times. Good people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I grew up, I'm sure you guys loved it as well. Key and Peele, amazing creators. And especially Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Nope is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Seen that? No.
I have not seen Nope.
That's such a
Listen,
good
okay,
movie.
I have to tell you something. After having children.
Yeah.
I just don't get to go out and
It's okay.
see things
It's okay.
anymore. And that shouldn't be an excuse. Like I should have at least like seen, but even like at night, once the kiddos go down, you got like maybe an hour
Right.
until the eyelids start to feel real heavy.
I get it.
So, but yes, Nope is one that I have wanted to see and hadn't had a chance yet. Yeah.
It's I deal with energy shortage pretty badly of where, and I don't know what's gonna happen when I have kids. Oh my God. But sitting down, I mean, these guys are so good. They're always out in the movies with the, AMC stubs. The AMC stubs, you pay $25 a month. This is a good time for an ad break.
Right.
AMC stubs, you pay $25 and you get 4 movies a week for free.
Like going to the movies.
Go to the movies.
Oh.
So basically, it pays for itself in one visit. You show up because a movie ticket now is like $16, and then you get a Coke and a popcorn. It's like $40.
Yeah.
So they're always out, but I'm trying to get better at this of trying to slow down. I'm like way too fast, and
yes.
I've just been like, I've been getting these signs, these not weird, it's signs from the universe telling me to slow down. A bunch of people the past week, like in text messages, I've missed a coffee date, or I've messed up something on my schedule, or like we're working on a pitch for a movie right now, Mateo and I, and I keep missing these things because I'm trying to fit everything in. And I was on a call with my manager yesterday, and I told her how we binged the Mission Impossible movies before we went and saw The Final Reckoning. And she's like, She says, I'm concerned for you. She says, when are you sleeping? And she says, I could say it's impressive and ha ha ha, it's all fun, but you're not, you do need to slow down. And I just went, oh my God, this is somebody so close to me.
And she was serious when she was saying it too.
She says, you need to shut it off.
Yeah. Listen, you are a hustler, and I see it, and it's wonderful, and it's a beautiful quality that you have. But as people who are driven, because listen, I remember like I had that drive back in the day when I was your age.
Right.
But now it's sort of switched. And so, having kids, I also have been having this moment.
Yeah.
Or needing to have that moment of pause. Like I keep seeing things that are saying like, pause. Find the moments throughout the day where you can pause.
Yeah.
And just like take a second for yourself, especially as a parent, because you're constantly thinking about, what am I doing for the kids? What am I doing for my husband? Like you're just never thinking about yourself. And so even in those moments of like washing dishes or when you're in the shower or whatever, like we're constantly like looping, we're constantly going and thinking about what we have to do and what we have to do tomorrow and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to, because like I would love, love, love to be able to just sit and meditate for long periods of time.
Do you meditate?
I'm not now.
Not right.
Yeah, it's like I don't have the time, but I've been finding recently that like I need to make the time. Like that needs to be in my schedule of things to do. Because otherwise it doesn't get done.
Yep.
It's really hard. So yeah, maybe that's a thing, like schedule in your to-do list. Like this is a good time to meditate, or this is a good time to do whatever those things are that you need to do to sort of like calm your brain and bring yourself like to give you that pause basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What has been your biggest takeaway? It's a weird question, but what is your biggest takeaway of having kids? And how old are your kids right now?
So 6 and 3.
6 and 3.
My youngest just turned 3 week and a half ago-ish. Man, oh man. I mean, talk about like a ginormous paradigm shift in your life.
Yep.
I have so much more respect for our parents because you have no clue what your parents went through for you. And I will also say, like, I think it's at a different level now. I think the pendulum has swung and it needs to swing back to the middle a little bit more because I think sometimes us as parents nowadays we're a little like overly attentive, overly protective. You know what I mean? We're like constantly thinking about our kids and making sure we're doing all the right things. And there's gentle parenting and then there's this and that. Right. And I think we have to like slow down on that a little bit more and like let kids be kids. But it's hard as a parent because you think everything that they do, good or bad, is you blame yourself for everything, basically. And so yeah, I mean, it's been a lot coming from the very beginning. God, even starting at like the pregnancy, there's so many things as a woman during pregnancy that I'm like, why did no one tell us about this? And multiple people have been like, probably because no one would have kids.
Right. What were some of those things?
There are things like, okay, so for me, I got these things called Braxton Hicks, which are like these cramps that are just really strong and can feel like stabbing pains in your stomach while you already have a baby in there. Yeah. There's another name for something else that is basically like your muscles kind of ripping apart. This is more so, Braxton Hicks come a little bit later. This is more so like between your first and second trimester where, I forget the name of it, but that one really like you just go to turn and all of a sudden you feel like you got stabbed with a knife. Oh. Yeah. and it's your muscles basically kind of like ripping apart.
When you get your needle stabbed into you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Episode 4 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So things like that. I got fairly lucky with my morning. Well, that's the other thing. They say morning sickness. Like, no, it's all day sickness. All day sickness. Luckily, I never really threw up. I didn't, and my morning sickness really wasn't that bad. I know some people have it all 9 months. I didn't know that was a thing that could happen. Some people have it the entire time. So mine only lasted a couple weeks, and it wasn't horrible, luckily. But there's other things. So me and the Braxton Hicks that I got, on one hand, and I could be wrong about this, I don't know if this is true or not, but I do feel like it helped when it came to my actual birth, because I had natural births both times. My first one was at the hospital, but my second one was here at the home. And my first one, once it was time to push, she came out pretty quickly and fairly easily. And so my second one was a 9-pounder though, so she took a little bit longer to push out. But yeah, I didn't have like incredible, like I'm not this, screaming at the top of my lungs sort of births, but I think that's because I had Braxton Hicks throughout like the last trimester of my pregnancy.
Like, adjusted to this pain.
I think so.
Oh man.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I think so, because I had it way more than I was like, you guys don't have it this much? And they were like, no. Like I would just laugh, and then that would start it throughout the day.
Oh my God.
There's all this stuff. There's more stuff I'm sure I could tell you about, but
yeah. Man, do you worry about where you want your kids to be raised? Or do you think that LA is like, are you satisfied and fine with Los Angeles? Or are you ever paranoid about, God, I wish my kids grew up in somewhere else?
Somewhere else. Yes. We've had this thought a lot. I will say, as of right now, we're very happy. We got her into a school that we actually really love. Partially thanks to Eric Winter, who also goes to the same school.
Oh, cool. Shout out, Eric.
Yeah. And I think before we're settling, like we're not in a bad way. I'm saying like we're settling, like we're like planting roots.
Yeah.
Like the roots are starting to grow here.
Yeah.
And we've started to find like our family, friend, crew. People say that when you have kids, your friend group changes. And I didn't want to believe them, because I love all of my friends, and I still do love all of my friends. But what I have seen is that that does kind of happen. The group of friends that I'm friends with now, our kids went to preschool together. Now we're going to kindergarten together. Yeah, it just kind of, all of a sudden I looked and I was like, what happened? Like, it did kind of change.
I thought about that.
Yeah. So, and not in a bad way. And I still love all my single friends, but it's a different like lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so we have that. So we've kind of built our little community. We actually really love the school that she's going to. So like now I think, and listen, if I can, this job, I love this job, and I love that it's here in LA. I think what would move us is if, if the show wasn't going anymore and I got a show somewhere else, that would probably be the one thing that would actually move us.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it seems like we're here, which I did not think would be the case.
Yeah.
And also like, I don't know, growing up here is just different. It's weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's weird?
Well, just there's like celebrities all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like sometimes my kids will just ask me like, oh, do you know that person? Like on TV, like, is that a friend of yours? And I'm like, I don't know everyone on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they kind of think that you do, like her. And also like her growing up with someone who's on TV, both of them, I don't know what that's like. You know what I mean?
Right.
People, do, especially since the show has been going so long, when people come up and, recognize me. They're kind of just chill about it. Like, they've never really said anything about it. They're just like, and they're always like, do you know that person? I'm like, no. And they're like, all right.
Yeah.
And I try not to make, a big deal out of it, but I don't know. I think it's interesting. We're both just kind of like keeping an eye on them and what it's like growing up out here. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. And I know, like, even at her school, we got her into a really good school, private school,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a range of, financially, there is a range of what the people that go to this school are, making. And so, I don't know. It's all, and she's in her our oldest is in her first year. She's about to be done with kindergarten in a couple weeks. And, we do love the school, though. Everyone that goes there is just real chill.
Cool.
Like, that's what we liked about it.
Cool.
And it was super diverse.
Yeah.
That was something that we were surprised about. Like, when we started touring schools out here, we realized that, like, listen, my husband grew up in New York at a school that was primarily white, and he said he was like one of 2 black dots, and he was like, I don't really recommend it. He was like, I really would like to have my kids be around people that look like them.
Yeah.
And it was just, we walked into, we were like, oh, they're everywhere. Like, I can genuinely see it. Like, it's not just people saying it. Like, we can see it, and it feels really good.
Yeah.
And so what's weird is there's more kids of color sometimes, and actually there is in our class, in her kindergarten class, than people who have come from public schools have said, like, there's more black kids in our class than there were at a public school.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just been kind of interesting, and we really do. We love the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard from a couple of parents that I've met that there's, no matter what school you're at, there's going to be the kids of celebrities.
Yeah.
And you're just going to bump
That's the
into.
weird thing. That's what I'm talking about with the weird thing.
Yeah. Like, we were shooting. Do you know what's his last name? You know Nash, the PA.
Oh yeah.
Nash.
Yeah.
So why can't I remember his last name?
Don't ask me. I'm the worst with names. But I know Nash.
We're shooting Nash's short film.
No.
And we had Matt Daniels on it, and we had a bunch of people from The Rookie, Mickey, the cameraman.
Yeah.
And we were talking with one of the moms of the location. We were shooting in her house, and she says she was looking through the class roster or whatever, and there are all these last names of celebrities, and she says, "Oh my God, do you know that's Tom Cruise?" Or you know that's, and kids like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's not a big deal to them.
I don't care. And you grow up in that melting pot in Los Angeles.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
It's weird,
especially coming from a small town.
Yes.
We're about 3 hours away from each other in Colorado, but my town was 6,000 people. My graduating class was 600 kids, or was 60 kids.
Oh wow.
My town was 1,200 people, and my graduating class was like 45.
Yeah, he's even smaller.
I'm even smaller.
Wow.
So, and yeah. Oh, you're just touching
your hand.
I thought you were raising your hand. I was like, you can speak.
Yes.
Yes. So.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong about this, but I think my graduating class was like 800 people, like something crazy like that.
That's college level.
Yeah, it was, but we had a big school. I went to Performing Arts, Dr. Phillips Performing Arts High School. I could be wrong about that number because every time I say it, I'm like, that sounds huge, but I do feel like I remember it being something like 800. So yeah, but you know, it's private school, so it's much smaller here. So I think their graduating class is something similar to. Yeah.
I forget where I was going with that.
That's okay.
But whatever.
Yeah, my high school was. I had a great time at my high school.
Really? Did you ever? Yeah. Tell me about it.
I used to. So I had moved my sophomore year. To to go to Dr. Phillips High School. And from what I had heard before getting there was that this was like this hoity-toity, like preppy school of rich kids, and like I was like not about it. I was like, I don't want to go there. I don't like it. But my parents were moving. I think this might have been around the time my dad went. No, he was working at Full Sail before that, and then we moved so that he could teach. Yeah, I know, that's so funny.
Yeah.
So we had to move for his job, and it was the best thing that could have happened to me because it was. So I went to their magnet. They had a visual performing arts program, and I went for vocal performance, but then got pulled into theater.
Yeah.
And that's where it was like, okay, musical theater is definitely my thing. That's where I knew. This is, Joey Fatone and Wayne Brady are people who all went to this school at one point. And they've just produced a lot of really great talent. And I only had 3 years there. But when I think about Orlando, I think about Dr. Phillips High School, because that was just where it's like I found my people, I found my passion. It all like culminated, came together. It was a good time. I had a lot of fun my high school years. Yeah. I just went back. I took my kids to Orlando for the first time.
Really?
To Disney World.
Never been.
A lot. You've never been to Disney World? Even the Disneyland out here?
I've been to the Disneyland when I was like 6 years old.
Okay.
But it was expensive. It is expensive.
It's expensive.
And I was in college, so I didn't have the money to go.
Yes.
I will go.
Yes.
Because I'm a big fan of Walt Disney. I just read his autobiography. I really love who he is as a person. And now with that mindset, I'm going to go into Disneyland, Disney World as the time when it happens.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a good time. I would say if you're a parent, take the kids once they're like 5 and up. Even 4 is okay, but our little one at 2 was not having it.
What happened?
She was scared of Ursula.
Oh,
she
God.
was like, because we were thinking like it's the Little Mermaid. Like this is a nice, easy ride. She did, and she loves.
Like it?
No, she did not.
PTSD from that ride.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really? What happened? What was?
You've never been? Oh, you've never.
I've never been to the
Disney,
Little.
Bro.
I didn't go on the Little
I
Mermaid
was
ride.
scared because that thing turns and you don't see her coming, and then I was
You were scared
super
too?
young, and I was like, oh, beautiful, and then turns around, it's like. And I was like, hell no.
Well, I guess that was what did it for her.
No.
She did not like it. But even like the pretty stuff, she was kind of like, but then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? That's so much stimulation for a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the most stimulation I got was going to the beach in the Virgin Islands at that time. Like that's a lot. So, she was not a fan. After that, she was kind of not a fan of any of the rides, really.
Yeah.
But she did like just being there, I guess.
Yeah.
So I would say 5 and above if you're going with kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I remember my dad, he worked on the Jungle Cruise when he was 20, and he just said it was, he says it's a cult. It's a happy cult.
Yeah.
We love Walt. We love what it has created. And you walk in and it's like a breath of fresh air every single time you go in.
My first job when I first moved to Orlando, I auditioned to be a kid of the kingdom, which I was around 7, 8 years old. And it was like 600 kids and only 6 boys and 6 girls got it. And basically we did the Christmas spectacular, and then we would also do like the Easter parade. Yeah. And so as a kid, I just knew like I had made it. Like this is it. Like I'm at the top. we would sing and dance. Actually, it wasn't even singing. We were lip syncing, but dance on the stage at Disney, and then the fireworks would go off after, and Tinkerbell would come, and just as a kid. And so I am one of those people who's like been in the tunnels. Like that was my home. Like
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I know the tunnels. I know that cafeteria. Like I remember seeing like.
That's so cool.
Yeah. All the characters walk around with their heads off, and it was just like I was like part of that as a kid, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And yes, I felt that.
God,
that like all of the kids that were working were just happy to be there, and like we were happy to be at rehearsals every day. And I remember riding home from school. One of the first days I was riding so fast because I wanted to get home, because I wanted to get to rehearsal, that I flipped my bike and got a scar on my knee and on my face. Oh, right here, I think. And it's still there a little bit.
Yeah.
And I had to go into rehearsal the first day with like a busted knee and a busted lip, but I was like, I'm still going.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was sort of my introduction to like really working. That was my first like really like big professional job.
Yeah. What were your dreams and aspirations when you were a kid?
It has always been this.
It's just always been this.
It's always been this.
Yeah.
I started off dancing at a very young age. My parents were kind of just like, we didn't know what to do with you because you were just constantly like moving. And so there was this dance teacher on the island, and they introduced me to her, and she was like, I'm taking her.
Yeah.
And they were like, she was like, just leave her with me. I've got her. And she did. And she had, it was a bunch of us. She had like a troupe, and we would go around the island and we would dance. And so I think I learned how to be a professional at a really young age from her.
Right.
And I thank that woman to this day. We still play Wordle every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I look back on it, and that's really like where it stemmed from. Yeah. And I'm very appreciative that because we were dancing mostly, but then we also would sing and kind of put like little skits and things together, and it was a good time. So because of that I just always knew. And I guess, because my dad was a photographer and then kind of went into videography. And my brother also, he did like a little island movie that was on the island. And my brother actually also, when we moved up to Orlando, there was a show called, and I always forget now because it's been so long. It was either 15 or 16. I think it's 15. I can't remember.
Look it up.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds was on this show. I don't know if I'm supposed to, I don't think he talks about it a lot.
Oh, we're talking about it now.
Yeah. But it was like the first thing I think he did. He was a kid.
15.
15?
15. There it is. 15.
And Ryan Reynolds is?
Hillside High School.
Yes, that's right. Hillside High School.
Little
that's right.
Ryan Reynolds is.
Yeah.
You see that?
Good God.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Wow.
So my brother was on the last season of that show. So this is something that has kind of just like been a thing that we've done. And that was actually why my parents wanted to leave the islands and move to Orlando, because at that time there was a lot of work for kids, like Nickelodeon was bringing a lot of their shows there. And so there was all that and my brother and me. And so it was nice for me at a young age to get to experience that, but then also not exactly get to like be a lead on these shows.
Yeah.
Because it taught me how to act on set and be a professional.
Mm-hmm.
But then I still got to like be myself as a kid and go to school like a normal person, and you know what I mean, live a sort of normal life. And of course, as a kid, I was kind of like, no, but I really want to, But I'm actually glad that like it worked out that way. I think it was really good for me to sort of and I think it was also good for me to sort of like not book stuff right away and like assume that that's what it was going to be like and like really have to work for it.
Right.
So but that's kind of, it really has been my whole life.
Yeah. I've always thought about, I look at the child actors and Ryan Reynolds
Yeah.
and a lot of the people, and I go, fuck, I wish I could have jumped in.
In that, yeah.
But at the same time, I grew up and I was able to be like a dirtbag for a while, you know, and
It's
like
true.
go live out of the back of my car and like
and you have that
grow up
experience.
and just
Yeah.
so I wasn't working then, you know, I was
Yeah.
never, that was, and I appreciate that, but there is the resentment of like wanting to be able, like Jenna
Yeah.
Ortega and all these people that
Yeah.
if I started, you know, it's the compound interest of
Yes.
what we do.
Yes.
The longer we're in it, the more we work, the more
Of
work
course.
comes.
Sort of.
Sort of. Depends on,
Yeah,
I
yes.
guess, yeah, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. So I wanted to ask you a couple questions
Yes.
about the Michael Jackson
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
What was that audition process like? There was like 3 minutes on the screen of hundreds of people
It was
on the
hundreds.
stage.
So thousands had actually like submitted.
Yeah.
I think 600 ish were at the audition.
Men and women? 600 women,
I'm trying
600
to.
men.
I think it might have been 600 women, 600 men.
Because there was a lot of people on that stage.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, another funny story. So I was leaving. I don't know what happened in my brain. My brain did something crazy. And I thought at the time, it was the Nokia. I thought the audition was at the Nokia, which is in Hollywood. But it was at the, it wasn't Staples. Was it the Staples Center? I think it was the Staples Center, but it was called something different at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at the wrong place. And I had thought like, oh, it's Hollywood. I'm going to, get down there and parking's going to be horrible. So I'm going to take the train, thinking this through and being smart. So I get there and I walk up and I don't really see anyone. And I was like, where is everyone? This is weird. And I see the security guard and I was like, do you know where, I didn't want to say it because I didn't know if it was supposed to sort of be secretive or whatever. And so I was like, do you know where like the audition is? And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, the MJ audition. And he was like, they're shooting Entourage. And I was like, I'm not here for Entourage. Oh God, that's my dumpster truck. I don't know if you can hear.
We got editing.
There we go.
Get it out.
So yeah, he's like, the security guard is like, I'm Entourage is around the corner. I was like, I'm definitely not here for Entourage.
Yeah.
So
You're like Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, I don't think
MW?
Yeah, exactly.
Not MJ.
No, right, exactly. So I pull out my phone and I looked at it and I saw that I was at the wrong place.
Oh my God.
And I had that moment of like, if I leave and go down there, I'm going to be crazy late. I'm going to be walking into this thing late. Like, I'm going to look like an idiot. Like, should I go or do I just take an L and not go?
Oh God.
But I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy thinking. Like, you still have to go. It doesn't matter. Just go. So I went and I'm rushing to get there. And these two guys with like lanyards, they must have been working there, start walking towards me and they're like, stop. I was like, what? And they're like, you're fine. I was like, what? And they're like, you don't need to rush. The line is literally wrapped around the building. You're fine. You don't need to rush.
Oh.
So I was like,
God.
oh, okay. So then I get there and they were right. Then I get inside and I'm in the bathroom and I overhear these two girls talking and they were like, yeah, and I hear only like 2 girls are getting it. And I literally stopped. I think I laughed and I was like, I'm so sorry. What did you just say? And she was like, yeah, I think it's only 2 girls and then 1 swing. So maybe 3 girls total. And I laughed because I was like, at this time I was still kind of new in the dance world. Yeah. And I knew that the director, Kenny Ortega, and choreographer Travis Payne had never really worked with me before. Mm. And a lot of times directors and choreographers like to work with people that they've worked with before, especially on big projects like this, because they want to know that you're reliable. And so I was just like, in my head was just like, I thought I wasn't going to get it.
Yeah.
I really was just like, well, this is crazy. But I was also like, well, this is also really cool that I'm here. So like, let me just have fun.
Yeah.
Like, this is just a really cool opportunity to be able to say I auditioned for Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, it took some of the weight off of me.
Right.
And I was just having fun. And so I remember Stacy Walker, who was assistant choreographer with Travis, like running down, because I think this was right before they told us, because it was a 2-day process, right? So anyways, I'm in there auditioning. I somehow like keep getting kept. So I'm like, okay. And then they're like, all right, well, you guys are going to come back tomorrow to audition again tomorrow. So I was like, oh, great. And for me, I really do well when I can go home and like practice. I just practice.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't, and came back the next day and they were like, so by the way, Michael is in the audience. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And, you know, and then he was like, I still didn't really believe it. But then they ended up pointing to the back and you see this big, because he's got really big hands. You see this big hand come up and like wave, because I think he had all black on. You couldn't really see him. You could just see his hand.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my God, that's really him. And so after that, I think we're all just going for it, like dancing for our lives. And Stacy runs down the middle of the aisle and like slams her hands down on the stage. And she was like, you guys. And she was saying it in like a loud but soft voice. And she was like, you guys, pull it together. She was like, you guys are dancing for your lives and it's like too much. You're giving too, like, I think we were all just giving way too much. And she was like, you need to hone it in. And I remember kind of laughing because I was like, yeah, we probably are doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is like Michael Jackson. Like, this is the top guy. Like, obviously we're dancing for our lives here.
That blood that kicks in.
Oh my gosh. It was like in high drive.
Yeah.
And so, again, I just took it as like, this is funny. Like, this whole thing is just so funny to me that I'm doing this. And then I remember he came down eventually and he was looking through our headshots and I was like, oh my God, like at some point in time, Michael Jackson has touched my headshot. You know
Same
what I mean?
as the restaurant guy. It was at the restaurant. Now it's in Michael's hands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Look how far I've come.
Look how far I've come. And so they kept keeping me. And then there were like certain things that I do think maybe possibly worked in my advantage because I had come from theater. They kept saying like, hey guys, you have to perform for people that are in we've all heard of this coming from theater, back of the theater.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting because when most auditions, honestly, are held in a dance studio somewhere. And so there are people that go to class all the time and are used to being in front of a mirror and can perform there. But as soon as you set them on a stage, I don't know what happens. It changes. Yeah. And so that I think for me, like the stage is where I live. That's where I've been since I was, like I said, 3 years old. And so, and then at one point, they were like, okay, at the end of the dance, we're just going to have you guys improv for 3 counts of 8 or whatever, Which, look, I'm fine with. I can improv and it's fine. But, like, I know there are some of these girls that have tricks and, like, flips and all of this. And, like, I don't necessarily have all of that stuff. But then they were like, I'm sorry, you know what? Never mind. We're not going to do that. We're just going to have you guys walk. And I was like, oh. Walking.
Wow.
I can walk.
Yeah.
And so they just had us walk sort of back and forth across the stage. And they wanted, because there's...
Hold on. That thing is so bad.
Yeah, it's really loud.
It was just 10 seconds. This is terrible because this is such a good... I'm like...
I know.
Stop.
We'll wait for it. Still
and
going.
The planes
and then all
you're gonna be.
Seems like we have a tendency to film these on trash days.
Yeah,
it was Melissa's trash day as well.
My gosh.
Well, yeah, we were doing Melissa's
so
on a trash day, and that was so bad. So they tell you to walk.
So they so they tell us to walk. I knew I could do that. And after that, because that's the other thing. A lot of the girls that could do all the flips and the da-da-da-da, like walking is a harder thing.
Yeah.
And I think they were doing this because The Way You Make Me Feel is basically all about just walking back and forth across the stage.
Yeah.
So that actually, we never choreographed, which was interesting. Like, we just never choreographed it. And it ended up kind of always just working. Like, we kind of just improv'd the whole thing, and it
With
always
you and
worked.
Michael walking.
And so we just never choreographed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then they did sort of a chorus line. They lined us all up. And yeah, and they said, Mekia Cox, can you step forward? Tyne Steckline, can you step forward? And then there was also one other girl. Turns out she actually I think she was on tour already with Madonna, like something else really cool. So she couldn't do it. So it ended up only being me and Tyne. But when they were doing this, I looked over at Tyne. I didn't know Tyne at this time, but I thought, like, oh, okay, we're similar in size. Maybe they're just like pairing up people that are similar in size, and we're going to continue to audition.
Yeah.
So we had to step forward, and Kenny Ortega was like, "What are you guys doing for the next year?" And we were like, "What?" He was like, "Because you've booked, this is it." And when I tell you, you can see it in one of the videos somewhere, I've never had this happen. My knees went out. Like, my knees were just not there anymore. And I was in a ball on this stage, and I said, Mekia, what are you doing? You have to get up. But I literally just collapsed, because that was all my body could do at that time, was I collapsed. And eventually I was like, get up, get up. So I got myself up and just started crying, and was like, oh my God. Because I remember being a little kid, they had a Michael Jackson week on VH1 or MTV or something like that. And I taped, because this was back when you had to like tape things on a VCR. I know you don't know about that, but
right. I've heard about that.
Yeah, I've heard about it. And I taped all of it, literally all of it. And I would watch it back. And I remember there being this one woman in particular on stage with Michael, because I had loved both Michael and Janet growing up. I always wanted to be Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to be on stage with Michael. And I remember seeing this one woman and being like, I want to be her. Like, I want to do what she's doing. So to have that specific of a dream actually come true is like, I still look back on it like, how did that happen? Like,
right.
It's very confusing to me. I do feel like, listen, my father, who worked at Full Sail, he passed when I was 17. And I do feel like he's up there just manipulating things and making things work. And so, because that's the only way. And because he was like, this is also, I think he knew, like, this is his last hurrah. So this is your one chance. So we're going to make this work out. Yeah. Kind of crazy.
What was it like working so closely with Michael?
So I remember the first time we saw him. So we rehearsed for 3 months before at Center Stages, and he came in the first time, because he had been there, but he had sort of been rehearsing in a different room and all of that. And so the first time he actually walked into our rehearsal, we were all dancing, and we kind of just stopped and looked at him. And I swear to you, this man has a wind machine with him wherever he goes. It just feels like his hair was just like blowing in the wind. It felt like there was like a light coming from behind him, and he just like did a peace sign and like waved and left. And I saw Stacy and Travis bust out laughing because they saw all of our faces. We looked like how you do right now. I was just like, what do we do with this? Michael Jackson just came in and gave us the peace sign. So that was sort of the beginning. And then after that, we started to work with him more. Then we eventually moved to the Forum Theater. And that was where we were working with him a lot. He was always so, very sweet to all of us. I remember one time we would have sort of like a circle sort of prayer sort of thing beforehand. And he had said something about like, guys, I want to make sure that you're not going out skiing. And I was like, what is he? And he was like, I don't want you to hurt anything ever because I want to have all of you for the entire time that we are on tour. So make sure you guys are being safe and, all of that, which I just thought was really sweet.
Yeah.
And we were there, or had we had been, that's what it was. We were there that night at the Forum Theater. We had been rehearsing that whole week. We had been rehearsing till like crazy, like 1, 2, 3 in the morning, like crazy times.
Yeah.
I think we moved to the Staples Center the next day, and that's when we found out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was crazy because we had all kind of...
What you found out what?
That he passed.
Oh my God.
So we had been there with him the night before. So when it first happened...
Holy shit.
Yeah. When it first happened...
Holy shit.
It was Tyne. Tyne had gotten a text from a friend that was like, so what are you guys gonna do? And she was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, about like your tour. And she was like, I think at this day we had like 7 days out. Like we're leaving in a week. And she was like, you need to turn on a TV. And we were like, what? And now mind you, like we were there for a while. We were just stretching and like not really noticing that like nothing was happening. We weren't rehearsing. Nothing was going on.
Yeah.
And so we turn on the TV and we just start to see what's happened, and we're genuinely confused. And we, first stage of grief is denial. Like we were in denial. We thought, we were like, oh my God, maybe this is like some sort of publicity stunt that he has come up with. Like we genuinely thought that. We were like, well, he's pretty genius. That's what we were thinking. Because we were like, there's just no way. Like we were just with him. And I remember then, of course, we're watching more and more news and we're like, wait a second. And I remember leaving and going outside and seeing Travis, and Travis had his sunglasses on and he looked a little like stern. And I was like, because I think I was 27 at this time. And so me and Chucky, I think Chucky and I were around the same age. He might have been a year older or something. We called ourselves the grandma and grandpa, even though we were only 27, because we were the oldest of the crew at that time. And so in my mind, I was like, you guys, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to go figure this out. So I go out and I see Travis and I was like, Travis, what's going on? And he didn't say anything. And he's not like this. He didn't say anything to me. I think what was happening is if he opened his mouth, he would have started crying. And so he didn't say anything to me. And I was like, we're back there. We don't know what's going on. Like, we need to know what's going on. And he didn't say anything. And that was not like him at all. So when that happened, I knew something was not good.
Yeah.
So I went back and I told them, and it was Stacy who actually came in to tell us. And when she told us, again, because I did always feel like my dad had done this, I just went back to when my father had passed. It just like all came back to me, and it was really hard on me. Mm. I remember Chucky saying, he was like, when I heard, because I was probably the first who just started crying, and I'm not really I'm not a crier. I'm not a big emotional person. And he was like, when I heard your like guttural cry, it broke me. And I remember having to leave the room. And I don't know what I feel like I was in a daze. I was just like, I started walking around the whole perimeter of the arena, and people would see me and they were like, oh my God, like they just felt so bad. It was hard. It was really hard because, you're on such a high, and to have that just like ripped out from under your feet was really hard.
Yeah.
For all of us, I think, for a little while. So, but I look back on it and I'm very gracious. I'm very happy that I got to have that time, with him. And I got to see a master in his element,
What was, when you say, and there's a lot of people say it about Michael and about a specific masters of their craft. The minute they walk in the room, there's that fan that follows them around. Can you describe that? Like, what was it?
It's that
what was the feeling that she got?
Magnetic sort of energy that they all have. I always think about like the life that they've led, is especially because he had had such fame at such an early age. And so, you know, Chucky did say afterwards that he was like, sometimes I look at it and the fandom is almost like a form of religion for Michael, because the fans are so, you know, gung ho for this man. And, it is almost like they become like otherworldly in a way, you know, like they're almost not human, you know, but was always very sweet, very kind to all of us.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a crazy time.
Man.
Yeah.
That's insane. My favorite was Smooth Criminal when I was a little kid. I loved Smooth Criminal.
That was a good one.
Awesome.
I just started because I wanted my girls to see like good dancing, you know, good choreography. And it's a little harder now with music videos because they can be a little raunchy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Well, they're allowed to be now.
Yeah.
They're not on MTV.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm going to have to go back into like my days, you know? And so, so I got them watching a whole bunch of Janet Jackson videos and a whole bunch of Michael Jackson videos. Mm-hmm. And I was watching Smooth Criminal the other day and I was like, God, this is so great.
So cool.
It's such a cool video, and like it's a whole movie, and it's like you feel it, you know what I mean? Like that part where the music breaks out and they're like, you know what I mean? Like I love it. It's so good.
Yeah. God, he's so particular with like in the documentary where my favorite part was, I can't remember what song it was, but the music's, what song was it? The music's going, and then he just stops it, and he like looks around, and you think that's the end, and then he goes straight back into it, but it was a 15-second pause in the rehearsal, and he's like waiting. And then I also loved, and it was for Smooth Criminal, where they just finished up the, oh my God, what's Casablanca's guy? What's his name? Actor. Bogart, Humphrey Bogart, because they do the thing with Humphrey Bogart, and they, Ortega was what he says. Michael, do you hear it? Do you like? How can we give you the cue? And he's like, I'm just gonna feel it. And he says, give it to me one time, and he's like looking out, and he goes, okay, I got it. Let's go. And he just has it locked. Yeah, and that's a. It's so fun to watch.
It's fun to watch. It really is. I remember at one point, it was some song that none of the dancers were in. And I was like, I am good. This was at the Forum. And I was like, I'm just going to sneak out and I'm going to watch him perform. And it was, I loved it because I was like, first of all, this feels like a whole concert just for me, because I was just sitting in the audience completely by myself. And that was that sort of that moment that I got to be like, oh my God. Like I am here, watching this master of his art be in his element and be an artist, and you get to witness it like in its form as it's like becoming the thing that everybody else will get to see when it's at its end product, you know. Yeah. So it was just really cool. It was a really cool time.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
God. What are your kids doing? What do they want to do?
So in all honesty, like everyone is like, well, we see the genes clearly got passed down. Both of them has this weird, it's weird, honestly, sort of gift to be able to memorize lines like very quickly. So one of her favorite shows is Bluey, and she could tell you every single line and every character's line. a while back, she was listening to, they have like a PBS podcast called, there's a show called Work It Out Wombats, but they also have a podcast. And so I'm used to hearing her do the whole show, but you know, the stuff that's at the end of podcasts, that's like, you know, brought to you by blah, blah, blah,
Yes.
blah, blah. And this it's a PBS one. Like they're all really long.
Yeah.
She started doing that. And she was like, saying these words that I know she doesn't know, but she was just repeating all of that. And I was like, listen, like I listen to like the Daily, I listen to podcasts all the time. I listen to like the Daily, which has all that at the end. I could not tell you what they say. Like I have no clue. So to hear her do that, I was like, wow, your mind has this ability to do this. And like, clearly and then when we watch Moana or Frozen or any of the Disney movies, she does not watch movies. She plays movies.
Yeah.
So she will get props. She'll find things. She sings along with it. She sets things up. Which is why like I'm kind of like, oh, I don't feel as bad about letting her watch TV because she doesn't just sit there. She is like building a whole world while she's doing it. Yeah, which is really lovely.
I love that, by the way. I still do that to this day.
Right.
But I would do that with
As a kid.
Buzz Lightyear coming in Toy Story and Toy Story 2. I get down on the carpet. I mean, that's phenomenal.
And it's interesting just when you see, because they do it on their own. Like you did that on your own, you know? Like those are things that I did as a kid on my own. Like that's when you just have to like watch out for those things. And it's like, well, clearly this is what she's kind of supposed to be doing. But yeah, I'm just seeing like both of them sort of blossom in their own ways, but it's also similar. Like I do kind of think that is something they'd both be good at. As we were talking earlier about like being here, being in LA for that.
Yeah.
Me and my husband have had a lot of talks about that because, you know, one thing my husband has said about my career is that kind of what I was saying before. He was like, you know, you have been in it for a while. You've learned a really good work ethic because it wasn't just given to you.
Right.
And so he was also like, you know, I did a couple pilots in Orlando that never went. He was like, the fact that you got to do those pilots, even though they never went, it was just still good. It's that experience that you have under your belt. If we're out here, it's a little bit easier to just sort of pop in and get on something a little bit faster, especially because of the network of people that I know and all of that. And now that we're the parents, you know, as we were talking about, like as kids, we were like, oh, why didn't I get it earlier? Why wasn't I a star at 7? You know what I mean? But then you'll also see what it can do sometimes to child actors. Yeah. And now that I'm a parent, I'm kind of like, oh, it makes me a little bit nervous. Yeah. And so I would rather get her into classes and have her train and maybe do some plays around LA or, you know what I mean? And then sort of, we're still just, we're being open. We're not closing anything down, but we're just trying to be open to whatever seems like it's going to fit best.
Absolutely.
But also not trying to get her out in the limelight too early.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's really admirable. And one of the things that I have that's been going over in my head is the obsession that I used to have over these videos that I would make and these things that I would memorize and bits and pieces of movies. I was so obsessed with so many things. And in a way, I lost the obsession, the okayness with being obsessed with things, where it got turned into, like, I got accepted in a couple acting schools, but I chose film school because I wanted to create and build my community with the filmmakers. Mm-hmm. So in a way, that was kind of like the business mind of like, don't be obsessed, strategize. And although it is important to learn as much as you possibly can, I really look up to Tom Cruise in the way that he obsesses over things, and probably Michael Jackson as well, where they cannot do anything other than the thing that is right in front of them, and everything else goes out the window. And that could be cleaning the house, that could be washing the car,
100%.
could be so many things.
Yeah.
And when I have kids, what I really want to advocate is obsess over something as much as you possibly can and let that guide you. And do not worry about the money. Do not worry about anything else, because that obsession is it's going to be so much fun.
And I guess I look at it as like, rather than obsession, it's passion. Like it's just, you know what I mean? You're just really passionate about this one thing. And that's how, I mean, again, that's how I've been as well. Like my mom, sometimes now, especially as a parent, I'm like, okay, how was I at this age, or what was I doing at this age? And she was like, you were always in your room. Like they used to have this little karaoke machine that had, where you could put your little tapes in and you could play a song on one and then record on the other. She was like, as soon as you got that thing, you were in your room all the time. You were like making up songs. You were adding, I was doing the thing where you could add harmonies to songs. You have to like, I figured out like, she was like, you were always, or you were like making up a dance, or she was like, you were just always doing that. That was just that was just what you, in your free time, that's what you wanted to do. So it's the same sort of thing. Like it's been my passion for a very long time. And I agree. Like sometimes you don't know what that passion is going to turn into. For us, it was, being in the arts, but like for other people, whatever that thing is that their kids love, like look for it. Once you find it, hone it as much as you can. Because you don't know what it's going to turn into. Even if it's just like your kid likes baking cookies, they could turn into like the biggest chef in the world. You know what I mean? You just never know what that thing sort of is. So yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Look at you already. You're going to be a great dad. I see it.
Oh, well, hopefully not too soon.
Yes.
I mapped out, and I've copyrighted this. Just kidding. I didn't, but I don't want people to steal my idea. I made I was on a trip to Iceland recently, and I'm sitting in the plane. I have this mole on my back that I have to go get looked at.
Oh.
And it's not cancerous. It's not anything bad. But that thought, I went, oh, what happens if I die? Yeah. So then I played that tape, and I'm sitting there on the plane, and I go, oh my God, I thought about my kids, when I'm going to have my kids. When will I have my kids? When am I going to retire? And I charted out, I said, I'm going to live to 100. If that's so high, if that was my choice, I'm going to live to 100.
Great.
So I charted it out. I'm 22. I've got 88 years left.
Yeah.
And I chunked it out, and I wrote down a bucket list of all the things I wanted to do, all the things I would be upset that I didn't do if I died tomorrow. And there was like a couple of them. There were a couple talking about sharing my story and creating my movies and acting in my movies. And one of them said win an Oscar. It's like, I can't control that, but
put it out there, though.
Everything else had to do with sailing the world and all these experiences, climbing Everest and living a year in a different country and learning Spanish and all these things where it just vomited out, having kids, and taking these kids on adventures.
Yeah.
And I plotted, I said, if I do this properly, I could have kids specifically at the age of 35. And then I will have done everything beforehand, and then it will perfectly equate to when they leave the house, and then I can go out and still be young enough
to do
my stuff.
Yeah. Listen, put it out there. Hopefully it works out that way.
Yeah. Right. Well, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. If that's not a part of the conversation.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. Listen, I remember back in the day doing all my vision boards, doing all of that. It's that work that you kind of have to put in. You do have to see it sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
And say to yourself, yeah, why can't I do this?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, then that's the thing. Like, it happens. Shit, it happens.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, I love the Michael Jackson being chosen out of the 600 women, and you booking your 3 gigs back to back. There is something, and it has to do with like the Michael Jackson walking in the room. There is an essence when I'm around you that I pick up on, and I go, "Oh my God, yeah, that's Mekia."
No, thank you.
And and there's all, like, we all have
it.
that spiritual God inside of us.
That's right.
But to tap into that,
It's the tapping into it, yeah. Which I think does kind of come from finding that passion.
Yeah.
We just happened to, I think, maybe find it at an early age, and so we were able to tap into it a lot more often. Yeah, I do wish more people could sort of like tap into that, and then on top of it have their parents there to support them, because I think sometimes people do tap into that, but then sometimes the parents are like, but I want you to go this way. You know, which is hard, especially because the parents are only doing it because they care, you know. But it is hard. But yes, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. Every single person on our set, I feel that with. I felt that with you when you first walked in. I thought, oh, this kid's going places for sure. So there, and then I also feel like attracts like. I've always said that, which is why I think we've really gotten really blessed on this show, because it's a good group of people, and we genuinely like being around each other. But then on top of it, are also like professional and good at what we do, which is I don't know. I'm constantly thanking. I'm constantly thankful for having been on this show for the last 6 years of my life. But yeah, I know sort of what you're talking about with that. That energy that gets tapped into, that you can see and feel from others.
Yeah. No, it's well, wrapping up here, what do you, I know it's tough to say what's next, but what are your hopes and goals in the upcoming years or the upcoming months? What do you have on your vision board?
Well, you have been inspirational, because you were talking about getting your short done and all of that. And like I said, things have slowed down a little bit because of kids and all of that. But there are certain things that I would like. I shadowed Ryan's episode this season. Yeah, which was really cool. Directing has always been something that maybe not always. Actually, it probably. When I got out here, really, I co-directed some plays with a friend of mine, and then I think I caught the bug a little bit then.
You also produced a short, right?
With Faye.
What was that called? It started with an S, right?
Promises.
It ended with an S.
Yes.
See, there we go.
Yes, we did that, which was great to get to work on with her. But I would like to do something else sort of on my own. And I was just producing on that. So to get to actually like direct more. And also like me and Alyssa have been talking forever about putting on a podcast as well. And we just haven't had time to do it. But yeah, those are some things that I would like to at some point. And listen, my youngest just started preschool, and so there's a little bit of a shift because both of the kids are in school now. So I have a little bit more time. So maybe in the next coming years, we'll start to see some of that come into fruition.
Yes. Yeah. That's great. We're actually making a feature.
Amazing.
That's.
Can you talk about it?
Oh yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah. That's it's called Frick. We made a short. I'll send it to you.
Yes,
please.
It's a
kick-ass short.
I love it.
It's about a kid with Tourette's, and the feature is a kid with Tourette's raised in the in the backwoods of Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
He was raised off the grid, and he just turned 17, and his dad realizes he's made the mistake of sheltering him his whole life, and he needs to send him off to high school. So he goes to senior year of high school in a very small town, basically a footloose town, and it's a coming of age story. There's drama, and he has these great friend groups, and a girl that he falls in love with, and it's fun, but it takes place in 2026, and we just have the raw energy of today. We want it to be one of those classics where people look back. It's Dazed and Confused meets, what were we saying, Mateo? What's our comps? Dazed and Confused meets like...
Captain Fantastic.
Meets Captain Fantastic. Have you seen Captain Fantastic?
No, I have not. No.
Do you know what it is?
Isn't that... No, I'm thinking of a Marvel movie. No, that's not.
No.
No.
It's Captain Marvel meets...
no.
Yeah, I mean, it's Dazed and Confused meets like the Lord of the Flies, like just gets kids outdoors, shooting bow and arrows, and getting into fights, and but there's the emotional side of he has his Tourette's, and he has to overcome that, and we're gonna direct that together.
That's amazing. How did that come about? Like the idea or storyline, or did you write it?
Yeah, we wrote that together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know someone who has Tourette's, or?
Yeah, we do.
We met a couple people.
We have a couple people. Go ahead, Mateo.
My school counselor had Tourette's. That's the first time I found out about Tourette's, and but then we met more people.
Yeah, we had a guy in college who had Tourette's, and you know, it's a little touchy to talk to create a movie about a condition.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's really just the story about this kid going through this event in his life who happens to have Tourette's. So it's not a Tourette movie. I
see.
You know, and we talked with the Tourette Association of Southern California.
That's great.
And we have some other meetings with them and everything. But the light that they want to be shined is just, it's such a normal thing.
Yeah.
And so many people have Tourette's. It's crazy how many people have Tourette's. And it's such a minor tick. And you don't even realize. And people just don't even care.
Wow.
And it's just, people just live with it. And the media has always shined the light of the guy who's freaking out and swearing and throwing stuff. And that's not what it is. There is the small cases of that. But
interesting.
It's something we all go through when we grow up, having to accept ourselves. And this is a very external visualization of how hard that can be sometimes. It's great.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you will.
Well, yes, please. And send me the short.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. Do you have any things in the works? Any?
Yes and no. Nothing concrete as of right now, but I am not a writer in a form, but my best friend is. She's kind of my like business partner throughout all of this. She's always like, we co-direct things together and all of that, and so she's more so the writer, and so we've got some ideas, and we've been talking about some things. So at some point, I think we just want to sort of get a short out there. And then sort of build off of that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I have to say, after writing this movie, like we've spoken about it, I'm like, I think I'm just gonna hire a writer or buy a script afterwards.
Right.
We're still like not done. It's locked. It's good. It's good to go. But we are like, there's the tiny little. We still have to go in and touch up pieces of dialogue.
Every day we have a new idea and we want to add it.
Yeah.
It's Mateo, I just had this idea. Let's add this to the story. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But because we had this idea, now we have to shift this
Exactly.
other idea over here, and then that shifts something else.
And then we got these producers that are working on it with us, two really great guys. But now they have ideas of how they think the movie should shift.
Right.
So we're like, and they're great ideas, but we have to do the writing.
Right. It's a lot.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We started writing in December.
Yeah.
of 24
Over Zoom.
Over Zoom. Oh my God, it's so crazy.
That's how it's done.
But that's the other obsessive thing. I love that story, and like I could be pouring more energy into it, but I'm spreading myself all over all the things.
Yeah.
So it's like I got to cut down some of the things.
I get that.
You know.
I get that. Yeah.
So
you'll figure it out, though.
Yeah, you know, I'm like 22.
That's right.
Figure it out. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you
for coming on.
Yeah, this has been fun.
Anything you want the world to know? Advice?
Advice to the world. I can't give worldly advice. I don't think I'm not especially with the state of the world right now. I'm not.
Right.
I need to give my own self advice there.
Yeah.
But I would say for actors who are trying to come out here and do this thing, not even come out here because you don't even have to be out here anymore, I guess, because you can put yourself on tape and all of that. But if you are trying to get into this world, the things that we talked about before about you have to be really passionate about it and know that you will be told no 1,000 times. And that's okay. It's literally all part of it. And also know that like this business is such a subjective business. I got to see a bit of that when I was shadowing, and I got to see some of the casting, and I thought maybe one person was great for a role. And there was only, in the episode that we shot, there were only 2 of like the guest star actors that came in that we all agreed on. Otherwise, it was all over the place. We all had different thoughts of what we thought this character would be like. And so it's very subjective. And then on top of it, just because you didn't book a role does not mean that you're not good.
Yeah.
Because when I was looking at all of these tapes, I went, oh, I've heard people say this, but now that I'm on the other side and watching, I'm like, they are all good.
They're really good.
It might just be like, I just envision something like this for the role.
Yeah.
And someone might envision something else, you know? So,
yeah, it just happened to me. I had a call back for a TV show. And it didn't go my way.
And you're like, so hard.
But the casting director like loved it.
Yep.
And then I'm in there with the director and the showrunner, and he's giving me direction. And I swear to God, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I'm changing exactly. And then,
and
I can feel it. He's just like, oh, okay, let's move on to the next scene. And you're like, what else? Can I? So it's just, it's not,
can I say something about that? So, okay, so here's the thing. Like, you might think it's going one way in the room, but, okay, so I auditioned for Walking Dead, right? I don't know if did you watch Walking Dead? Do you know Walking Dead?
You
love Walking Dead. So,
oh my God.
You know the Michonne, Denai Guerrera's character. I had auditioned for that part.
Yeah.
It was between me, her, and one other girl.
No way. Yes. Oh my God.
So.
That's so exciting.
I remember I actually had, like, I was going for the audition. It was the casting director, who's a wonderful lady, very sweet lady. She came out and she was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for doing this. Like, thank you for putting all your eggs in one basket. Because at the time I had actually been up for another J.J. Abrams. I was supposed to test for, and I can't remember what happened. I think maybe it was at the same time, but I ended up turning down this test for this show that J.J. Abrams was doing to test for this, for Walking Dead. So she was like, thank you so much for putting all your eggs in one basket. And, she was just like, I get so nervous at these things. Oh my gosh. And
she gets nervous.
That's what she was saying. She was like, when I get nervous, I have to like pee. And she was like, all this stuff. And I was like, why are you telling me this? I was like, and it just felt like all of that nervous energy got dumped onto me beforehand.
Yeah.
She did not mean to do it. It was not, you know what I mean? Like, I guess maybe she was trying to calm me down, or I don't know, but it just felt like all of a sudden like ingested all of her nervous energy.
Yeah.
And I remember going in there and just not feeling like I did my best.
Yeah.
And I was really frustrated with that. And I didn't book the role, obviously. I went into my I always say, like, I give myself 2 days of depression.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Give yourself those couple days because, again, we're passionate about these things and, like, we really go for them. And when we don't get it, it hurts. It feels like a breakup, right? It hurts.
Oh, yeah.
And so I actually did start watching the show because we ended up binging the show because I was auditioning for it. So I was like, oh, I should watch this. And then I was like, oh my God, I love this show.
Love that show.
After I didn't book the role, I had to stop watching it for a while because it just was like crushing my soul. You know what I mean? But when I finally did watch it, when I tell you, I was sitting by myself in my living room, and the Michonne character comes on screen, and Denai, I think she like takes the sword and she like does it around her head. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
And I literally, so sometimes, as we're talking about Tourette's, sometimes I feel like I have talent Tourette's because when someone's really talented at something, I can't help but like scream at them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I literally like got up from my seat and I was like, bitch, you better work. I said that in my living room by myself, screaming at the TV. And in that moment, I was like, oh my God, that role was never for me. Like, that was never for me. That was very clearly, I mean, she killed the role.
Yeah.
Like, that was very clearly for this brilliant actress who's done a wonderful job in this role. So I felt a little bit better, actually, after watching that. And then I was able to watch the show again.
Yeah.
But then, cut to years later, Glenn Mazzara, who was a writer on our show, was the showrunner of Walking Dead at that time. He comes, he does his first episode, and I didn't really say anything until the last day that we were shooting on his episode, and I was just like, I'm just going to tell him. So I told him that I was like, oh, you know, I auditioned for that role, and I think he's just thinking like, oh, one of the many who auditioned. I was like, yeah, it was between her, Denai, and someone else, and he looked at me and he was like, oh my gosh, Mekia. And I was like, yeah. He was like, I don't know why it took me so long to realize this. And so I told him, I was like, I botched that audition. I thought I did. And he was like, no, you didn't. And I was like, well, I don't know. I just felt like I did pretty bad. And he was like, you did not.
Yeah.
And I was like, you sure?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, actually. And he said the same thing about like, listen, once you get to that point, there are no bad actors. All of you are good. We all have to we were just deciding on what we want for that role. All of you are good. And so I think I was like, oh, okay, but I still didn't fully believe him. And then he emailed me the next day and he was like, you know, to further along what we were talking about, he forwarded me an email that he had with a casting director that said, he was like, I actually wanted to cast you in something else that he was doing. And he was like, and I sent this to the casting director and it said like, what about Mekia Cox? She's really good. So I've gone years thinking like, these people would never hire me again. They probably think I'm the worst actress ever.
Yeah.
Not realizing that he actually wanted me for something else, but I was working on something. I didn't even know this happened.
Yeah.
I was working on something else at the time. And so I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy. And I like the fact that I was able to have that conversation with him and he was able to because again, when he said it, I still didn't fully believe him. But once he sent me that email, I was like, oh,
yeah.
Okay, I guess I do believe you.
It's crazy the behind the scenes of the casting world, and they know they know everybody.
Yeah.
And they're able to pinpoint and drop you and that's an incredible story.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and you know, you do. I love the acceptance with seeing Michonne on the screen.
Oh my God, she was so good.
I the new Hey Mitch movie from the Hunger Games, I was in the running for that. And had really good conversations with the casting director and but they need a really big star for that role. Yeah. And I'm not that yet.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yet.
But
exactly. Yet.
But that when I found out the kid who got cast, was on a plane, so I had to sit in the plane for
Yeah, yeah.
3 hours and just and let it mull.
Yep.
And I don't want to go watch the movie, but I think, well, we probably will because they're going to be going to the AMC. And
it is hard. It's hard
going
to
be
do.
hard.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Because I always look at, I'm going through Daniel Day-Lewis's movies right now. And I just started with the first one. And I watch and I go, there's nothing that he's doing that I know I could do differently.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are other things that I watch and I go, I can do that much better.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And
we all have that.
You know, so
Yes.
we'll see. He's going to do great. I'm not saying I can do it any better.
No,
but
I get it, though.
But yeah, there's that resentment. The 2-day breakup.
Yes, that's what it is. I give myself 2 days.
Yeah.
Because it is hard, and you know that this is a thing that you really, really, really wanted, and you saw yourself there.
Yeah.
Like you envisioned this thing happening, and so when it doesn't, it breaks your heart.
Yeah.
But then after those 2 days, okay, it's time to get back in the game.
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah. Man. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
And this was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me. This has been fun.
I
What did you figure out a name? Did you?
It's called a Patrick Keleher podcast.
Oh,
so
I like it.
It's
I
simple.
did like Patty's Potty.
The Patty's Potty. Yeah. It was a controversy for sure. But we've just settled with my name because what better?
That works.
Yeah.
I think that's
and
probably
you've got a killer name.
Oh, thanks.
Mekia Cox. It's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good
Can
handle.
I tell you a quick story about that one as well?
Yeah.
Again, once you become a parent, you learn a lot of different things. So my mom had always told me that my name came to her in like a sunset or a sunrise or whatever. And so again, they're in the islands. And so when she said that, I was like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Like, I think I always imagined that she was like on top of some like hill or mountain and like overlooking the ocean. And it was a beautiful like sunset or sunrise or whatever it was. And then I was asking about like her birth experience with me, and she was like, yeah, and then we didn't have a name for you. And so we had to come up with one at the hospital. And I was like, Mom, I thought you said my name came to you in like a sunrise. And she was like, yeah, it was out the window. I was like, are you kidding me?
Right. You're like, really?
I envisioned this whole thing, and it was just like, you didn't even have a name for me until
crazy.
I was here, and then you looked out the window and you're like, oh, Mekia.
Oh my God.
That's where it came from.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You know, my dad, when they were coming up with names, my dad got the final say. But he said he wrote my name on a piece of paper and he showed it to my mom and he said, how would that look on a credit roll?
Wow.
How cool is that? And my dad's a ski instructor and a real estate agent. And my mom was a masseuse, nothing to do with the movies. But my dad, that's like how he blessed me.
I love that.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That's very cool. I love that.
Yeah, man. Good. Well, I want to see your podcast with Alyssa.
Yeah, it's true.
That would go. Because the spin-off show.
Yeah. That's right.
That'd be a lot
right.
of fun. Well,
Good.
Good.
We're gonna work something out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
This has been fun.
Yeah, this was good. You had a great house.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, good.
Thank you, guys. Nice catch. Reflexes.
An interesting. It's beautiful.